All right. We're going to start by collecting some information from our class, and I think we only have 17 people in here today, so that'll be a small group, but that's okay. Now that you know which one is your favorite elective, I need you to make one other decision, which is if you had to pick a favorite between math and English, which one would you choose? All right. So once you have those two decisions down, you're going to come grab a marker, and we're going to put a tally mark in whichever box you fall in. So if my favorite was art and math, I'm going to put a tally mark right here at the intersection of art and math. If your favorite is technology and English, you're going to put a tally mark here, right? So come up and mark where you belong, and then we're going to analyze the data, and I'm going to send you guys loose in your group to do a little bit more analysis.
It's a combined decision, right? Not like individual?
Oh, no, my apologies. This is an individual decision.
Okay.
Individual decision. So we should have 17 tally marks total. My apologies. Thank you for clarifying. Oh, good. We get another one for math. It's like math is not getting any love today. That's okay. That's not uncommon in a stats class, honestly. Still have one person maybe? Because we should have 17 tally marks total. All right. So on your page, in that box, we want total counts for how many people total said art was their favorite. How many people total said music was their favorite. I don't care about the math, English separation right now, just all the people that chose art, all the people that chose music, all the people that chose PE. We're going to write those counts down. So what is there? 4 for art, and music is that 5? Yeah, it looks like 5. We've got 1, 2, 3 here, and then 4, 5 there. So 5 for music. PE, looks like we've got 4. Foreign language? 2. And technology? 2. Perfect. All right. You guys are going to need access to a device of some type. You can probably get away with doing this on your phone. However, if at least one person in your group has a Chromebook or a laptop or a tablet, that would be best. We're going to go to something called Staplet, and we are going to make a bar chart and a pie chart for this data. So on today's class Canvas page, I have Staplet linked, but you can also just type it into a browser, stapplet.com. So I'm going to go there. Hopefully, if it cooperates with me. There we go. All right. We are doing one categorical variable. We're going with your favorite elective here. So one categorical variable, single group. For variable name, we're going to type in elective. Let me see if I can do that from over here. I need a cordless keyboard. Nope, I did not manage to get it there. Where is it? There we go. All right, and then we need to select our categories. What were our categories? What in the world just happened? What were the categories that we had to choose from for electives? Yes. So you want to type those in. So you're going to have to hit the plus button to be able to add 3 more categories, and then we're going to put our counts in here. There we go. Art, music, and then I need to add a category. Oh, come on. Oh, that is really not cooperating for me. And then we want to put the frequency as the counts in. So here where it says frequency for art, we're going to put 4. You know what? I should just add those other categories while I'm right here. There we go. So we want to get our counts in there. Art was 4. Music is 5. PE was 4. Foreign language was 2.
Oh, it messed up.
It messed up. Oh. Thank you. It did not like when I typed music, and then I got off from there. Thank you for letting me know. There we go. Did we get music in now? Yes, okay. 5 people liked that. There we go. Okay. PE was 4. Foreign language was 2. And then technology was 2. All right, so I'm going to click Begin Analysis now. And then we'll get to choose the types of charts that we want. And we're going to copy a sketch down into our notes. All right, so it started off with a bar chart. We want to make a sketch of this bar chart in our notes. Notice that the vertical axis is labeled what? Frequency. That's how often that answer occurred. So our vertical axis is labeled frequency. And the horizontal axis is what? Elective. So we're going to do a sketch of this. Let me get it here. All right. So we have elective down here. Five up here. Art. Music. PE. I need my horizontal axis a little longer there. foreign language, and technology. I went ahead and did mine in different colors so it's a little bit easier to see. Do you guys feel like you followed along okay with how to get Staplet to make this bar chart for us? Okay. Going back to Staplet, I want to change the type of chart because they asked us to make a bar graph, and they also wanted us to make what other kind of chart? A pie chart. So we're going to go back to Staplet, and I've got my plot type right here. If you click right here where it says bar chart, we can change the type of chart that we want. We can do a segmented bar chart. You guys are going to do that here a little bit later on in class. But right now I want to do a pie chart. So I'm going to click on that one. And we're going to copy this one down into your notes as well. What are some of the key things that you guys are noticing about this pie chart that you would need to include that would be really important information? Which elective the colors correspond to. So there needs to be some kind of key. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. If you guys would like some colors, I've got colored pencils and markers that you are more than welcome to make use of. If you have your own colors, that's fine as well, but you do want to make sure that you are distinguishing between those different categories. All right, so I'm going to make my key over here. I have art and music. PE. Foreign language. And technology. There is something else that we tend to see with a pie chart that gives us really important, useful information as we're looking at a group or at data. Can anybody else think what might be really useful with our pie chart? So when I was on Staplet, I know that that pie chart is pretty exact, right? When I go to my sketch, was I able to be as precise? Not really. So maybe some numerical information, percents perhaps. How would I find the percentage for each of these wedges?
The number of students who chose that
Yes. We're going to take the number of students that chose that option. We're going to divide it by 17 on our calculators. We're going to move the decimal point 2 places or times it by 100 so that we can change it into a percent. Let's go ahead and do that. So we have 17 total students today. I want you guys to find the percentages for each of these wedges and label them. And then I want you to answer the rest of the questions on the front of this page in your groups. And I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time to do that, and then we'll make sure that we hit on some important ideas here. I want you guys to finish out the front side of this page. You can use our tally chart over here to fill in the table that's on the bottom of the page. That's why we went ahead and split it up like that from the beginning. Work together in your groups, talk about anything. If you're not quite sure how to word it or how you would maybe word it, collaborate together and come up with how you want to describe that. Run and grab something off the printer real quick while you guys are working on the rest of the front side of the sheet. If you get all the way done with the front side before I'm done grabbing stuff off the printer and I'm back, feel free to flip it over on the back and start answering anything there that you feel like you might be qualified to answer. Okay, I'll be right back. questions 2 and 3, tell me what you guys put down on your page. What are the individuals? What is the variable? Any thoughts? Best guesses? It's okay to not have a perfect answer. I just want to make sure that we're getting some ideas thrown out here that we can then kind of pick through. What would we mean by individuals? Question number 2. What do we mean by individuals? It says identify the individuals and the variable. Our individuals is going to be the who for our data. Who do we collect data about? Yeah, people in our class. So we've got students in class. You want to be, and this is, I have a love-hate relationship with statistics. I do love it, but there's times where it's like, well, when I say you need to be precise, how precise do you need to be? And the answer is, it depends. You want to be precise enough that your audience or whoever's reading what you wrote understands what you mean, but you don't want to be so verbose that you spend all of your time on the AP exam in the spring writing out this big long answer when it could have been answered in 2 or 3 words. So an example of an answer that would be over the top would be students in class today except the 4 juniors that had to leave and the one at, like, we don't need to go that deep, right? But just saying students is probably not specific enough for your audience, right? So we want to try to make sure that we are precise enough without going into an excessive amount of detail. All right, so if the students is the who, that's our individuals, what's the variable? The what, yes. What did we want to know about people? Favorite elective. Is the variable, favorite elective, a categorical variable or a quantitative variable? Give me your best guess. Categorical. When you ask the individuals to choose a category, we do end up with counts of them, but you chose a category. One of the ways I kind of think about this is, have you guys done surveys before? If they ask you to, like, click the correct box, only choose one, that's a categorical variable. If they ask you to enter a number, that is a quantitative variable. So this is categorical. So far, so good? Cool. As we get more used to doing these activities, you guys are going to be doing more of it like on your own before we debrief. But this is only the second one we've done, so we're going to kind of chunk it out. You guys work, then we debrief. Then you work, then we debrief. Okay? All right, we've got our bar chart here and our pie chart. There's a couple things that I wanted to point out here before we solicit some answers for number 5. Things that are really, really, really important for your bar chart to have. You need to make sure that your axes are labeled. So I got my bottom axis labeled with elective. What should my vertical axis be labeled? Frequency. That's going to be important because different types of charts record different things on that vertical axis. So we want to know what it is that we're looking at on the vertical axis. In order for a bar chart to give us important information without it being misleading, it has to start at what? 0. Make sure that that is labeled. That is really important that we see that it starts at 0 there. You must start at 0. And one thing that I wanted to talk about with the pie chart over here. Would it be an accurate pie chart if I left a group out? No. What about if no one had chosen technology? It wouldn't show up in my pie, right? But I would still need to list that that was one of the available categories. And if that happens, you'll write the category off to the side. It wouldn't go even as a sliver in your pie, but you would just write 0 next to it, or 0%. Does that make sense? What were the percentages that you guys found? Technology. 11.8%. So foreign language, because we had the same count there, should also be 11.8. What about for PE? 23.5%. Art? 23.5%. And music? You said 29.4? Okay. Did anybody check to see if those added up to 100%? Double check real quick. I'm curious what that adds up to, because I know when we do some rounding, sometimes we might end up with 99.99. That's okay. But we should be getting real close to 100% when we add these all up. Adds up to 100%? Perfect. Must include all categories. How would I fill in this table down at the bottom? It's going to look exactly like that one up there. So art and math. What would we have? For this one right here? 0. We do need to fill in every single one of these, so I am going to put a number in each spot here. Art and English would be 4. Math and music? 2. Art and music? Art and music. English and music? 3. Math and PE? 0. English and PE? 4. Foreign language and math? 1. And then we've got 1, 1, and 1. We want to find the percentage of all students who chose PE. How many do they mean when they say all students?
Every student, whether they chose math or English.
And what was our total in here? 17. All right, so how many out of those 17 chose PE? 4. So we're going to have 4 out of 17. You guys should have already calculated this percentage up above, right? What'd you get? Yep, 23.5%. This right here is called the marginal relative frequency. Marginal relative frequency. Because all of the numbers that I used for my fraction, the numerator and the denominator, came from the margins. It's not included in that table. I would need like totals off in the margins. That's why it's called a marginal relative frequency. What about the percent of all students who chose math and chose art? How many chose math and art? I don't want to know how many chose math plus how many chose art. I want to know how many people said math and art are my favorite. 0 out of? 0 out of 17. So that's going to be 0%. This right here is called a joint relative frequency. This one is not called a marginal relative frequency because my numerator came from the intersection or the joining of two categories. Does that make sense? Okay. Last one, the number of students who prefer math that chose tech. The number of students who prefer math that chose tech. 1 out of?
17.
Close. 1 out of 4. So who prefer math? This is my denominator. This guy right here is called a conditional relative frequency. I'm going to abbreviate frequency because that's getting really long to write. Conditional relative frequency is saying, I know something about this group. I'm not looking at the group of all students. I'm narrowing it down. That's my condition. In this case, my condition was students who said they preferred math. And so all of the numbers that I would get for this fraction have to come only out of that math column. My denominator would be all the math. My numerator would be the people that chose technology from that column. Does that make sense? All right. I want you guys to flip this over. If you have not already started on the back, I want you to answer all of the questions on the back, including the bar charts. Now, once we add core classes in there, we have how many variables? We would have 7 categories, but how many variables? What did we say our variable was on the front side? Favorite elective was 1 variable. Core class. So how many variables total? 2. So when you go to Staplet to make your charts, you want to choose the next option down, like back on that main page. When you get to choose from all of them, you want 2 categorical variables, right? We will debrief the rest of this tomorrow, but I want you guys to get through the back side of the page in your group so that we can debrief this one quickly right at the beginning of class. And while you guys are finishing that up, I'm going to pass out your first homework assignment. This is not due until Monday. There's stuff in here that we have not talked about yet. That's okay. We'll go over those pieces tomorrow. This is not due until Monday. Anything that you don't get done with on the second side, you need to finish up so that you have that ready for class. Okay? If you're not sure how to do a particular piece, work with the other people in your group to try to come up with the best answers that you can. know, because I know some people feel like they're swimming in the dark here when I'm like, go and do statistics. And you're like, that's why I'm in this class. I don't know how to do statistics. So the overall philosophy of AP statistics is that we are going to experience statistics first, and then we will formalize after that. So that's why I want you to like write down your gut intuition. Work with people and talk it through with them, and then we will formalize together later. This is not a matter of, oh, I didn't get that right. No. I want you to experience it first. Everybody has some experience with statistics in the world. Write down what you think, and then we will formalize those ideas and talk about, you know, the ways that we want to express that. Awesome. Playing cards, please make sure you get those to you before you walk out the door. Tomorrow we will debrief this second page, and we will go over some big ideas that were not covered in this particular activity, and then we've got another activity tomorrow. All right?